And yes, we are live. The Sports Bag Bros podcast is back on the scene this Wednesday with a live show
Plus
for anyone
one.
else. What's going on? Because if anybody wants to join us, this is the time to do so. We don't want to hear any complaints about what might have been said that should have been said after the fact when you have a chance to chime in and do it. And today, you know what it's about, that boxing game. We have three people here, Bosco, Bias, myself, and we're going to get into the talk about the big fight on this Saturday for the Super Middleweight Championship of the World. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, taking on Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Most people probably haven't heard of him, but if you're a boxing fan or a boxing diehard, you have.
So better know about him.
Yeah, you better know about him. If you don't know, you better know if you claim to be a boxing fan. Well, there's some things to unpack with this. And you see, we have a panel of three instead of a panel of five or even six, but we can get to it right away. Boo Boo, this is obviously his biggest fight. I don't think this is David Benavidez' biggest fight.
No. I think it's going to be a pretty good fight. I still think Benavidez will come out the winner. But the main fight is Canelo and Benavidez. He need to get that going. But he got to get past Andrade first. I think he can. I think it's going to be a good fight, competitive fight, but I still think I think Benavidez will get him by round 9.
See, I'm thinking it's going to go the distance. And the reason why I believe that, because Boo Boo does have the skills to do so. Mm-hmm. The only problem, if it was under other circumstances, meaning that I've seen Boo Boo develop into what I thought he would be coming out of the 2008 Olympics when he was so talented. Mm-hmm. If he had developed from that, whether it was with management or actually his overall skill set that we can see consistently against top talent, I would probably be in his camp for that. But I'd rather go with the devil I know than the one I don't know. And I've seen Benavidez enough, and I've seen him destroy guys. Had his troubles with Caleb Plant in his most recent fight, but he was able to overcome that and then show his dominance in the later part of the fight, signifying he's the main dog at that weight class, or outside of Canelo when he gets a shot.
Yeah.
So I think he's a live dog, but him being 35 now, and he's only had 7 fights in the last 6 years. Yeah. He fought earlier this year. He didn't fight at all last year. 2 fights in 21, 1 fight in 20, 2 in 19, and 1 in 18. So he's not been active. And who have his opponents been? You know, we talk about iron sharpens iron. Has he been improving? I don't know. I can't say that he has. You know, if he had been more active and fighting better competition, I think he'd be better prepared. But right now, I just have questions. I have doubt.
That's why I say by nine rounds. I think he'll put up a good fight. You know, Benavidez, he tends to start slow. You know, but once that train starts moving, those punches start flying, and they come hard and they come fast. You know. I shouldn't have phrased it that way, but you know what I mean. My bad, y'all. But you know what I'm saying. And once he has you, he throws that rapid fire. It's a wrap after that because he he has you. You know, and Andrade, I think his inactivity will hurt because he, 7 fights in 6 years. That's not many. You know, it's like barely a fight a year.
Yeah.
So, and Benavidez is hungry. He wants to be that man. I mean, at 168, he wants to be that man.
Yeah, he's not just talking. He really wants to fight. And when he gets in the ring, he shows you how badly he wants to be known as the man. Yeah. And he's so upset about Canelo not giving him the shots, trying to do everything to circumvent that fight. It seems I don't fight fellow Mexicans. What kind of crap is that? You know what I mean? Mexicans make some of the greatest fights, period.
Exactly,
you're going to deprive people based on something like that. But Monterosian was the last fight I saw him in, and that was back in 2014. Yeah. I was the manager for 2013, in fact. I was actually the manager for Andrade the Boxer, who typically comes on our panel. And that was our second fight together. We went to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They put us up in the hotel, HBO. Boo Boo fight him. He gets knocked down against Monterosian. And it was a boring fight.
Yeah.
Looking at this, I'm not even looking for whether he's a boring fighter or not. He is skillful enough to make things interesting. Yeah. It's just that he had not done anything against anyone of consequence since that fight. And that's not really a consequence fighting that kind of a fighter.
Right.
And he only won that fight by split decision.
And that's true, too.
Not like it was a clear-cut victory.
Yeah, and the knockdown had a lot to do with it. But being a southpaw, we already know that comes with its own problems.
Yeah.
But David Benavidez, he comes in and he's he has a chip on his shoulder. He reminds me a little bit of the old Tony Ayala from 154. Remember, coming to the ring with that attitude, he had something to prove, but he doesn't have the crazy demons that Ayala had, but he comes in with that chip on his shoulder attitude. And I think it comes from when he was a heavy kid and he used boxing to kind of get in shape, still trying to prove something over and over.
Yeah, I love Tony Ayala. I mean, I love some Tony.
He's a beast.
God, I used to love watching him come in the ring and fight. He just run right through you, man. And with Benavidez, that's how he is. Like I say, he starts slow, feels you out. He has some long arms, man. I mean, God, his arms are like, 10 feet long. So I mean, his arms. He got the broad shoulders, and his arms are like freaking long, man. So he can hit you with the jab, and his jab is pretty strong, man. I think, like I said, I believe he'll be competitive early because I think that I want to call him Andrade, but I'm thinking about the race car driver.
Mario
Andrade. I want to call him Andrade, but I think he'll come out because he wants to win, and he knows a winner with Benavidez is going to okay, this guy beat Benavidez. I can knock him out of any fight with Canelo or whoever wants to, any Charlo, whoever. But I think that's going to be his downfall. He's going to go in there like, I'm going to take this guy out. I'm going to look good. He's going to walk into Benavidez' right hand, and that's going to be a wrap.
And the bad part is that we haven't seen him fight in a tough fight yet.
Right.
We haven't seen him go against even decent opponents. I don't want to say that a fight is not decent if they're one of those world-class fighters or any level from 1 to 20 or even 25. That's still a high level of skill for boxers.
Yeah.
But it's relative when you talk about someone like Benavidez who has fought in championship fights, plural, and has proven it on a high level. I think that Andrade has the skill set. It's just that we just don't know enough. And it's been this long. Bias mentions he's 35. He'll be 36 in February. And we still don't even know enough about this guy who was once an Olympian, regardless of not winning a medal, but he was once an Olympian. And in 2008, I thought he was the best and most skillful guy for the U.S. in those Olympics. And we're still wondering all these years later, man.
Inactivity, man. He just didn't fight. He just didn't fight the big fight. Just inactivity, man. I mean, 168, a lot of people came through.
Yeah.
You could have called up Triple G up like, hey, come on, I want to fight you. There were just so many fights out there. Yeah, but they never called him out. Yeah, but
I'm just saying, he called out basically everybody. He showed up at people's fights, showed up at press conferences.
But did he really want to fight?
I think he did. You know what?
I don't think he
One
really
thing I know, I think fighters really want to fight. I think
I wouldn't spend all that money going to all these fights, flying and everything if I don't really want to fight.
These guys want to fight. Being around the gym for so long, being in the game myself for a little bit and all that, man, these dudes want to fight. It's almost these managements and promoting outfits. These are the people who don't want to lose the cash cow. They're the ones who typically don't believe. Now, there are fighters who probably go into a fight scared, like Frank Bruno did the second time against Tyson. He didn't want to be anywhere.
He didn't want to be in that ring.
Spinks didn't want to be nowhere near that freaking place.
Spinks was looking for the showers, walking down the way. He's like, nah, this is not gonna last long, yo. Just keep going.
But in general, these dudes want to fight, man, on all levels, especially when you get to that top level. As you already know, most people who get to that top level to have a chance at a championship and they're still undefeated by then, chances are they were pretty damn dominant as amateurs as well. Yeah. So they've gone through all of those fights many times, 100 or more fights. They've gone through that situation so many times. They've gone through the pro ranks. Even if slowly, they've gone up the pro ranks. These guys want to fight. They can do something else if something came up. But this is what they do. They've dedicated most of their lives to it. They get to this point. These dudes really want to fight. Now, when it comes down to Andrade, boo-boo, I guess, these people, boxing's in a position to where you're not forced to fight. If they want to ice you out, they'll ice you out. Bud was iced out, and it made it seem as if he was the one who didn't want to fight until we realized, well, Bud can fight, and Bud wants to fight.
Right. I think one thing about him being 35 and only having 7 fights in 6 years is he hasn't gone through a lot of wear and tear either.
True.
So maybe his 35 isn't a true 35, because he hasn't been active. I just think he is going to be a little rusty compared to an active fighter. He could have been active and still not taking a lot of punishment because of his skills.
Yeah.
But he just didn't fight a lot of fights. I think he was holding out for big fights. They didn't come, so he didn't fight. We're going to see Saturday night, can he get it done?
And I think with that, with the wear and tear, you may not have that wear and tear, but being in the ring, it's just like with sparring. You can go to, in the ring and spar anyone, and you can whoop them. But once you get in that ring and you have to, there's no rules where it's like you got to beat this guy. The pace is different, and you're not fighting that sparring partner. You're fighting someone who wants what you have.
10-ounce gloves, no helmet.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah. And it's like you got to go for what you know. And I think with that, he can't afford to start slow or be rusty or whatever going in with Benavidez, because Benavidez is coming. He's coming at him.
Bro,
he's trying to look spectacular. I mean, he knows what he has to do to this guy.
Benavidez doesn't have any secrets. He's coming. He's letting you know what he's about.
He's coming.
And he takes pride in Mike Tyson calling him the Mexican monster. So he said, "I go out there. I want to make Mike Tyson proud, bro. The only way to make Mike Tyson proud is to do a lot of what he did in his prime. Just go after the guy, throw caution to the wind."
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a homer because I'm a Benavidez fan. He's like, of these fighters today, he's like my number 2 fighter. I mean, out of favorites. I mean, I love some Benavidez, man. I love everything about that guy.
How can you not like someone who just wants to fight? Because you hear a lot of lip service. Now, there's a lip service and gamesmanship, and then there's fear. I don't think fighters have fear. I think the promoting outfits and the managers have the fear. I think the fighters really want to fight, but there's a little bit more gamesmanship, trying to gain leverage, trying to A-side, B-side. This is the new generation of boxing. It's A-side, B-side, when years ago it was just opponent and house fighter. But Floyd made it popular, A-side, B-side. No one wants to be on the B-side, especially those who think they belong in the A-side. Someone has to be on the one side or the other. And I just think that to have someone who has the belts and can pick and choose who the hell he wants to fight, he picks the guy that no one wants to fight. And that's the biggest reason why Andrade hasn't had a chance to have a big fight. They had chosen to freeze him out. He's called people out. He's gone to press conferences. He's called people out after his own fights. No one comes.
He's getting one this weekend, though.
You're not good. Canelo flat out said, you haven't fought anybody.
Yeah. He got one this weekend, though.
Yeah, but he was fighting Beefy Smith or Rocky Fielding and dudes that nobody else fought. Come on, man. Canelo's a fraud.
What used to call De La Hoya back in the day? Buys chicken.
I didn't call him chicken. I called him De La Homo.
I knew you had a name for him that used to make me laugh. But yeah. Look at let me tell you, Trav. And I try to go off track. Bice used to be brutal, man. He was brutal against De La Hoya. He was brutal.
Oh, bro, I can tell we don't like an athlete, man. You can hear a couple of snapping whether it's WBJ, whether it's De La Hoya or Canelo.
Man, look, we had an ESPN message board, and I think our board had to be the most lit one. And he would just
without a doubt, it was.
Bice came on, he was brutal, dude. I was like, damn, this dude. And I ain't know Bice that well back then. I like this dude right here. I'm like, damn, you don't take no prisoners, man. But like I said, he made me what I am. I said, I gotta beat this guy. This the guy I gotta beat.
I'm telling you, man, it's going to be a good fight, potential. I believe great fight because of the unknown. I mean, all fights are unknown until they actually fight. But I think the big unknown is Boo Boo. No one knows him. But people in the boxing world who do know of him, I don't even believe they're giving him the credit he may deserve because he hasn't done anything. And I hate to say he hasn't done anything, but what has he done to even deserve this shot? I think it comes from the kindness of Benavidez' heart to even give him the shot. Kind of like Errol Spence just did with Crawford. I mean, he didn't have to do it, but he did it. But there was also something out there in the ether that was pointed to him and said, yo, you got to do it.
You got to do it.
Well, I think Benavidez, looking at the landscape, it's difficult for him to get fights too. So he's like, well, you know what? Let me get with Boo Boo, make a big fight together. And to the best man go to spoils, best man win. Respect to both of them because Benavidez definitely didn't have to fight Andrade.
Nope.
And Andrade, he wants that big fight. So props to him for stepping up. Another concern I have is him moving up to his third weight class. Him not being a natural 168 fighter.
Right. Another thing,
but when they stand next to each other face to face, it doesn't look too much smaller. But still, going up in weight, you know, is he able to carry his power? Is he able to handle the power of a 168-pound puncher?
Benny just got those long arms. That's what separates the two. You know, I think by his throat. Okay, there you go.
Well, we could talk about like with Jamel Charlo when he was fighting against Canelo. You know, he talked about the weight difference. Man, I walk around as a big fighter. I'm a big dude. This no all the other. They had the weigh-ins. You didn't see any difference. In fact, you thought, man, he is a pretty damn big guy. Maybe he has somewhat of an advantage. But when the fight started and he came out with some confidence, he felt that power. That confidence went out the window. He was more happy to survive than try to win the fight. I don't think it'll be a lot like that on Saturday because I don't think if Benavidez has his way, and it is an advantage that he has weight-wise and just being as tenacious as he is, Boo doesn't have really that many opportunities to really think about what's going to happen that he may get blown early.
I think Boo Boo just needs to go out there and fight. You know, just lay it on the line, man. Go out there and look good. Because if you look good, I mean, even at 35, you know, like I said, he doesn't have that wear and tear, you know. Go out there and look good. Put up a good fight. If you get knocked out, you get knocked out. But you go in there to win. And you never know what happens afterwards. You might get someone that says, well, I want to fight this guy so I can get to Benavidez. You know, you want to be that guy where people want to give you the call. But then again, you know, we'll have to see him. I think he'll be close early. But like I said, I think by round 9, I think it'll be a night.
So I think early he's going to have to get Benavidez' respect.
Yeah.
You know, hit him with a good shot.
Give him that work.
To let him know you're not just going to run over me.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't get that respect, he could get run over.
Yeah.
You know, or it's going to be a track meet. And then, you know, he's not going to be very happy with himself.
Yeah. And if you watch the press conferences, you know, he was saying, yo, he's going to get hit hard. I'm going to get hit hard. You know, they both know they're going to get hit hard. You should know this is a boxing match, but can you handle the power that's coming your way? Now, let me make it clear. I did say that Benavidez, if he comes in doing what he wants and Boo Boo doesn't necessarily, if he gets overwhelming to a point to where he can't even think straight, he's going to get blasted early. I'm still thinking he's going to go and lose a 12-round decision because we still don't know anything. But if nothing else, if he's disciplined enough at this time in his career, this deep into his career, I think he has the discipline to stay with a game plan. And even if the game plan is failing, he can still stick with it, still lose the fight, probably look good doing it. But then you look at some of these almost triangle theory things, like what Caleb Plant did against Benavidez, and now with all the potential that Boo Boo has a chance to do as well. There's a lot of similarities there between he and Caleb Plant. He actually has a little bit more pop, but then he's also a southpaw. But we've also seen Caleb Plant gain that experience from tough fights, even with Canelo in a losing effort, to know that there's something there. We don't know what's there.
I think if he goes 12 rounds, sorry about that, but I think if he goes 12 rounds, a good 12 rounds, I think that's going to help his case.
Oh, yeah. You know what? And hopefully if he does actually win the fight in 12 rounds, he gets the fight in 12 rounds. Because, you know, you can surprise a lot of people and the judges just aren't impressed or aren't surprised enough that they can still give it to Benavidez, but the rematch would be hellified if anything else. But I'm just thinking that he's going to be able to go the 12 rounds, and he's probably going to have his moments during the fight. But Benavidez, man, being the dog I've seen, man, he just gets another win. It could be a tough win, but he's down for tough wins if he needs it. You know, he's a dog.
Yeah, he is. You're
not going to shy away from a tough fight. In fact, bro, he's got that Mexican blood, bro. There's no such thing as, I don't know what a tough fight is. You did a fight.
Mexicans come to fight.
I was going to say that, you know, Shakur Stevenson fought last week.
Ooh,
man. It was pretty much a dud.
Fight?
It was pretty much a dud, and he owned up to it. You know,
he did.
Props to him. Andrade maybe take some inspiration. Like, hey, I don't have to get in the firefight. Right. If I can stay on the outside, move, jab him, grab him, hold him, clinch, whatever. Yeah. And damn the crowd booing. You know, I'm gonna make it ugly. Do what I have to do. Walk out of here with the W. Look good the next fight. Larry Merchant used to say that all the time.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because that's what Ernie Terrell used to do back in the day. He would make fights ugly, you know. And Ali had to beat it. Ali did what he did. Get off of me. Get off of me. Get off of me. But but if you got to make the fight ugly, you got to do what you got to do. Make it ugly. Grab him, clinch him, you know. Tie him up. When he gets close, tie him up. Don't take that big punch, man. You know, a few rabbit punches if you got it, you know, when they clinch, you know. Do whatever you got to do,
The irony of that Ali Terrell fight, though,
I
was that
stopped there. A couple low blows won't hurt either.
Right.
Low blows. Hey, we saw Cotto do it a few times.
Hey, do what you got to do.
Did it a few times.
Hey, use that Bernard Hopkins school of boxing, man.
Yep. Oh, just win.
But
you know what? Going back to that Ali Terrell fight, you was talking about how making a fight dirty, and Terrell was the one arguing about Ali rubbing gloves, eyes and rubbing his eyes against the ropes like a wrestler. Never happened. The videos there.
Never happened.
Never happened. This guy was saying that's what he was doing. The referee
never happened.
Because
Terrell
the
just couldn't see him.
History hasn't either. But I just like the way this fight is finally going to come down. Boxing's did very well this year with the fights that we've had a chance to see. And, on the undercard, a pretty decent undercard. You have Charlo, the other Charlo, Big Charlo coming out fighting Jose Benavidez Jr.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a huge fight, but I just like Jose Benavidez Jr. because he's one of those dudes that don't give a damn either. He's not scared of anyone. He comes to fight, but he's moving up in weight classes, man. I just don't, man. And if you
I kind of view this fight as a mismatch. I think it is.
Yeah.
But I think for the sake of having the family together, Jose Benavidez Sr., Jr., and David headlining the card, it's a family affair.
Yeah.
And if you saw the press conference yesterday, they went at it.
Yeah.
And Jose just getting up every time, and Charlo, sit your little ass down, man. He ain't gonna do nothing. Kind of act like you tough. He brought up his mental issues that he's been having, so I think that's gonna add a little bit more sauce to this. Yeah, but that's another fight on the card that you get a chance to see as well. So looking forward to that as well. But man, I just can't see anything on Boo Boo's resume to let me know that he should do well or even have a real chance to win, unless he has been holding so much in that he just plans on putting it out on this one night only, kind of Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson like, just to get it done.
He's gonna have
but along those lines, like who's out there that Andrade could have fought and beaten them would let you
Triple G
or think, Triple G's older now.
I mean, even the older Triple G would have, before the Canelo third fight, Triple G was still a threat.
Yeah.
Before he was still a threat, still had the punching power, still relentless. That chin is still one of the greatest.
One guy.
But he could.
One guy. I'm saying, if he had fought Triple G and beat him, you would believe he could beat Benavidez?
Oh, yeah. I would. No, I believe he has a better chance.
That would have to chip. I don't think he beat him.
Now,
that was my point. I don't know who's out there that he could have beaten that would lead me to believe he will beat Benavidez.
And
maybe Canelo. But then again, Canelo can be outboxed.
Exactly. That's about to say the same thing. Because even when he beat Caleb Plant, he was outboxed until he beat Caleb Plant. He'd been outboxed before, but he just weathered the storm and just stuck with the game plan and wore you down and got you out of there. I mean, even Kovalov was beating him.
Canelo doesn't throw a lot of combinations. He just looks for the big shots.
Yeah,
he might throw a couple body shots, try and wear you down, but he doesn't throw 3 and 4 punch combinations. And even though Benavidez isn't putting all his force behind it, he throws 5-6 punch combination.
Rapid fire.
But he does light you up with that last one though. He's doing that last boxing thing. Shoe shine with that last exclamation point. If you go to the boxing gyms and you're in the ring and the trainers are telling you, because when I was younger and didn't know better, they'll tell you just, you don't throw every punch to try to knock people out. You think you are. Throw this 4-punch combination at that last punch, be the exclamation point. That's the one that should be the one to get their attention.
Yeah.
Until, things work out during the course of a fight, then you can start pot shot if the opportunity is there. But yeah, man, I can't, boxing styles making fights. If Andrade would have beaten even Caleb Plant, it wouldn't have mattered to make a determination if he could have fought Benavidez in one because styles making fights.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. I just think I like to see Boo Boo do good, but like I said, I'm a homer. I'm a big Benavidez fan.
Yeah.
And even I took my homer cap off. I just don't see him. I just don't see him beating Benavidez. I mean, Benavidez wants Canelo. And the only way he's going to get Canelo, he just keep beating people till Canelo has no other choice but either retire or fight one or the other. And I just think Canelo don't want it because Benny can box.
Yeah.
And boxers give Canelo a hard time.
A big problem. Yep.
Yeah. You got a big guy who can box.
We saw Bivol did. Bivol was a super big guy compared to what Canelo really is. Yeah. He did outbox him. He did better against his sparring partner than he did against Canelo. I mean, Canelo didn't have anything to offer. Once Canelo realized he was in deep water, he went into survival mode, man. He would never admit it, but you can just see the body language and the way he went about the rest of the fight. He was like, kind of with that Charlo mindset. At least he didn't knock me out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what he said.
Charlo should have never said that.
He didn't knock me out like he did the rest of them.
At least he knocked me out, dude. You know what you just know what you just said about yourself. At least he knocked me out, you know. Well, that sounds like Robert De Niro when he was playing Jake Marler. You knocked me out, Ray. Yeah. You knocked me out, Ray. You know, like, dude,
you knocked me out. Yeah, the fight's over. The crowd's already cheering. The people in the ring, and you worried about getting knocked out and not off your feet.
But that tells me, like, did he even really try? Oh, he just didn't want to get knocked out.
He tried initially until he realized that wasn't going to go well.
When he got that,
When he felt that power, he was like, "Oh, damn, this is long."
And after that, because you see, even the knockdown, it wasn't no real big punch. It's like, I mean, it's a good punch, but I've seen him take harder punches that he just
exactly. Now it could have been the timing, and it could have been his mental fatigue. Because when you start thinking like that in the ring, that mental fatigue, the thing that people on the outside don't necessarily see, that starts bothering you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think a lot of fighters will admit it. Sometimes if they win a fight that was tough, they start admitting things in the ring, but they got the win. If they lost the fight, they won't admit certain things. But I remember times, even just amateur boxing, you know, I got stunned. Never got knocked out or anything, just got stunned.
Yeah.
And I'm literally looking for my freaking corner because I don't want to fall in the same corner of my trainer because I want to hit him out.
I've been there.
Think about that crap in your mind, like, bro.
Yeah, but, when you get that one rattler, you start one like, okay.
You start looking around like, bro.
Like, okay, what's the clock? How much time I got left? You know, because you try to figure out.
And I ended up winning that particular fight. No one would ever know what was going through my mind during the course of that fight if you freaking win.
Dude, I got hit one time. This guy, he sent me across the ring, and to this day, I don't even remember. And I won the fight. To this day, I don't even remember what happened after that punch. But they said, "Man, you beat his ass, man. You beat his ass." I was like, I don't remember that shit.
Your mind.
I was gonna say it. Okay, I believe you. Though.
That's why I give these fighters, man, pro fighters, especially ones at the top of the food chain, nothing but respect. You know, I don't like hearing fighters called bums. I mean, even sometimes playing around, not necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, you might get caught up in it and say it, but man, there's no way I can look at a fighters, even ones that I don't know, like, oh, Freddie Roach was nothing but a bum. Look at the way he did as a fighter, man. I'd never say that. But when you've been in there with a sparring or an actual competition, you get hit hard enough. No one else knows, or even an area where somebody who's not even a star fighter hits you like that. And you got to figure out a way out of that fight other than quitting. You got to figure out a way to complete the fight. I got hit hard as hell in the PO Nationals. I heard the bones of my neck crack. This dude, Theodore Hampton. This is legit. Theodore Hampton. He knocked out every opponent he's ever had as an amateur.
Yeah.
And Rick Glazer, people know, if people follow boxing know him, he can vouch for it. He's from Buffalo area.
Yeah.
We obviously didn't know Rick back then. But this dude, he ended up getting killed on Memorial Day weekend, like about 4 or 5 years ago. Craziness. I just read a story about him getting back into boxing and helping kids in the neighborhood because he was a tough dude. But anyways, this dude hit me, bro. And I felt the bones of my neck crack. And you know they put the tape on the
on the thing,
back there. Damn thing whipped around, bro. Like that, bro. And I thought to myself, I was like, damn, hit.
Hey, look up a fighter. It's two brothers, Timmy. I forgot the other brother, Timmy and Rayburn brothers. They're from Louisiana.
All right.
I boxed Timmy Rayburn. Both of them brothers had power. They didn't do too good in the pros, and he hit me. He beat me, but he hit me with a punch one time. It was so hard, man. I started to reconsider boxing. He hit me so hard. Dude, he hit me so hard. It's like everything blacked out when I woke up. The ref was like 6, 7. I'm like, oh shit. And I looked up at him, and he was just standing there because they both had the hands up stop, but they wasn't doing the Mike Tyson thing, but they kept their hands up.
Hands up, yeah.
And their punches were straight. And he hit me, and I was an Ali type. I like to dance around the ring. I didn't stand there. And he caught me. I don't know if he caught me the hook, but I know he hit me. And it's like, it felt like a damn, what's that Mike Tyson used to say, a ball with a chain. Yeah. Wang. That's how I felt. And when I got up, ref was like 6, 7. You okay? I said, yeah.
You see that light, right? That light.
Yeah. And I was like, the rest of the round, I just jabbed and got away. He won the fight. And he said, man, I thought I knocked you out. I said you did.
Like Ali and Henry Cooper, man.
Yeah, exactly. I said you did knock me out. I said I just stay. I said I wasn't gonna let you put me to sleep, but you knocked me out. Yeah. I just can't remember his brother's name, but those two guys hit like freaking freight trains,
like
man.
Here in Florida, Keith Thurman coming through the amateur ranks.
That's what I heard. I heard he
at the tail end of when I was the coach at University of North Florida's boxing club. He was coming through at pretty much the tail end of his career, amateur career then. And I heard he was just mopping dudes up. Dudes did not want to fight him. Dudes just straight up like, you know what? I used to want to fight today. Now I don't. He's here. And you go to these boxing tournaments, you just see it in different acts and this and that. People trying to intimidate you, sizing you up because they don't know who they're fighting yet. You know how the atmosphere goes at a fight.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I when I worked on my power, and I don't mean to get off this track. I studied I just had his name in my head because oh God, he got knocked out. Jaime Garza.
I remember Jaime Garza.
Yeah, after a while I would tie because he tied string to his feet. That's how he practiced his power. And I watched him train. I was like, oh wow, and I started doing that, and I started working on power. And he was always my favorite boxer. He would knock you out until he ran up against oh God, what's his name? I can't think of it. Knocked him out in the first round. And I was like, man, my boy got knocked out. And after that, he was never the same. It's like, anyway, back to this program.
Yeah. I mean, hey, in boxing, we talk about these guys that are fighting on Saturday, but these anecdotal stories are just
back to the program.
Ricardo Cepeda, same thing. He was on that.
Back to your regular scheduled program.
Right. It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still boxing though. But man, I'm just looking forward to a good fight on Saturday.
Yeah.
What? If I get a great fight, that's good. Because it's towards the end of the year. Every fighter who fights at the end of the year, they're trying to grab that last hurrah for the rest of the year. So boxing can put a lid on that great fight and just have a good year overall for boxing. The awards come out next month. We probably have to come on and talk about who we thought fighters of the year, things like that. That might be.
If I'm free, I definitely will. I ain't got no problem with that.
Yeah, man. But it's been a great year of boxing so far. I think it's been damn good. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, we needed it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but ever since the Garcia Tank fight, fighters have been getting together.
Yeah.
Kudos to those guys for kicking it all off.
Wait. Yep.
Yeah. And Garcia, I don't know what's going on with him, man. I mean, dang.
He was running his mouth against Acuna the other night.
He's got a fight set, I'm pretty sure. I just don't remember who it's against. Oh, okay. Yeah, and he's throwing shade at Shakur Stevenson as if he could beat him.
Right, yeah, you got to learn how to take
a no shot against Shakur.
But you got to learn to get off your knees first, man.
Yeah, you got to get off your knees.
Before the ref comes over.
Right, before the ref come over, right. So
another thing that I noticed with this promotion that's going on right now with Saturday's fight, maybe even Errol Spence and Bud Crawford doing what they did throughout their entire promotion, as cordial and nice and down as they were with each other. You know what I mean? That was one of the best promotions ever and got the good damn results that we had gotten. Yeah. This fight, a lot of the same, man. David Benavidez and Boo Boo came up together as well. And they have a lot of respect for each other. And even when things went down yesterday, went a little bit sideways with Jose, he gets up and talking to Charlo and whatnot, man. But Charlo knows David as well. They hang out and all that deal. Not hang out, but they came through. They know.
Yeah, they came through the thing. Yeah.
And he kept his cool, man. He didn't start trying to stand up for his brother. Yo, don't talk to my brother like that. He let his brother take care of his own thing. Yeah. And he and Charlo still got their little relationship going, man. So there might have been some subtleties in this promotion thing that people used to do and get used to. You have to bad talk someone just to get your ticket sales. Right. The damn fight sold out. You still talking nonsense, claiming you're trying to get people hyped. Whatever.
What do y'all think?
The crazy thing about Bud and Spence was it was Errol's camp that was talking crap too.
Yeah, not the fighters.
Yeah, it's a camp.
But
what do y'all think?
Between Bud
right. What do y'all think about Bud and Spence? Bud and Spence. Do you think it's going to happen at 150? I mean, he might as well fight because he got his title stripped at 147, the IBF. So you think it goes down, or do you think he'll go after Charlo? Because I know Charlo.
I think he already said the rematch is at 147.
Oh, is
it? He said 147?
I'm pretty sure I saw him say
you know what?
match would be at 147.
if he's the one making the call and he has the title, I mean, he should be able to do it. Now, people on the outside are going to say that's not fair because you know he struggled to make 147 when we really can't say he struggled to make 147 other than his performance. And now he's saying it, and you don't know whether he's saying it to kind of cover up for the beating that he had taken. But I don't see anything from a technical sense that changes much of anything from 147 to 154. In fact, Bud will be just as strong too, if not stronger, moving up. Now, Bud,
I think I saw a video on YouTube claiming that Jose Benavidez claims he knocked down Spence in sparring before that fight.
See, and these stories start coming out after the fact.
It's true. Then I think Spence was obviously affected by the all the car accidents.
You know, and that's one thing Coach talked about when we had him on, you know, before the fight and even after the fight. And I thought about it, I was like, yo, so okay, how did it really go down like that? Because he fought a couple of fights after that accident and didn't look any different. In fact, people were saying he was looking better than ever.
Yeah. He looked good against Ugas.
Yeah, and then even after Ugas. And now when he gets to this fight, now you have neurologists coming out and everybody talking all this. Man, we could see it in his face before the fight. His face was sagging, this and that. Like, wait a minute, what just happened? He had 2 fights previous to this fight. And now this fight, he gets the beating that he gets because I believe a superior fighter was in there with him.
Bud just whooped his ass, man.
And now the narrative is now all of these things kind of happen to you. All these things. Now I can understand too that things can get progressively worse with the brain. They don't regenerate cells in your brain. So I can see things can get progressively worse. But that fast, when it could have happened in the first 2 fights and we didn't see much of a difference, in fact, getting better.
It could be Bud's just a different animal.
Bud is a beast. Right. That's what it is.
The other guys, you know, it wouldn't show, but with Bud, it obviously did.
See, my issue with the whole thing is like the same ones who said, "Oh, he didn't look good. He's the accident," or the same ones said, "Well, he should fight Bud. Bud should fight him at 154." I'm like, well, if y'all feel he got these issues, why are you guys saying that he will whoop Bud at 154? If you got the issues, you got the issues. Moving up in weight is not going to help you because now you got to go get some more power. You know,
I don't want to see a Pritchard Cologne incident in the ring.
Right.
You know, I don't, man. You know what? And I regret that fight because I remember watching that fight. You know, I watched Pritchard Cologne come up when they started really putting him up and trying to highlight him. And I was like, you know what? He might be one of those belt holders, but I didn't think he would be a special belt holder. There's nothing wrong with that because as long as you have a belt, that's still a good accomplishment for what you started. And that fight there, he started having problems. But then the dude started hitting him in the back of the head. I didn't really see it initially. And I saw him complain to the ref. I was like, man, he's trying to find a way out the fight. And then later in the fight, I saw a couple of the clear hits, but I was like, you know what? He's still probably good enough to go. But then what ended up happening to him happened to him. I never question fighters anyway, but I was like, I would never even look at it sideways like he's trying to get out of a fight anymore for something like that. If you complain about a damn rabbit punch, and I saw the rabbit punch, that's a legit, man. You just it's too damn dangerous out there to take it lightly or think it really doesn't hurt. They have gloves on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
I believe I counted 16 rabbit punches to
those things are dirty.
No, not for that fight. To the back of Joe McClellan's head against.
Bro, that was as egregious as it could get. The ref should have been arrested.
That was just, and McClellan hasn't been the same since.
Oh, the same.
After that fight, it was over. It was over for him. Life, everything was over for him.
Yeah.
Everything is over, man. This guy has his family taking care of him for the rest of his life.
He can't hear. I mean, his hearing is about gone. He can't see. I mean, he's messed up, man.
I cringe seeing watching some of those videos, man.
I don't even watch him no more.
A reporter came over to him, was talking to him. He can't hear him. It's asking over, huh? What?
Yeah. He with Nigel Benn was trying to talk to him. And Nigel Benn about cried. Like,
he did.
Yeah, he cried, man. I can't watch it.
I watched that fight a couple of days later, and I noticed the rabbit punches.
Yeah.
Then I started over. I said, well, let me start from the beginning, and I counted. I counted 16. But since then, I never watched it again, and I won't ever watch it again.
I hadn't watched it since.
Because that was before we found out, before he was permanently damaged. It was just a couple of days. But now knowing everything I know, I'll never watch it again.
And Nigel Benn has that power, man. He was born on the scene with that power. I remember when he fought
Destroyer, knock you out.
Yeah, wasn't his first fight in the U.S. when he fought Eron Barkley?
Yeah,
ABC?
Man.
I remember that first round.
That was a good fight, though.
It was for the first round.
That first round was a beast, man.
I was hoping he let him go another round, but Nigel Benn was bringing that thunder.
Once Ben hit that head, boy, Barker was like, okay, I'm not in the Bronx anymore. I'm not in Kansas either. And it was
Ben was barn burners, man.
Yeah, they went out.
Against Eubanks.
Yeah, him and Okay, what do you think about it? I'm taking over the show. Hold on, y'all.
Sorry, you're a guest, man.
You're a guest.
Okay. What do you think about them? What do you think about them handing over Boots Ennis the belt? Just give it to IBF.
You know what? Look, under the rules of boxing, he got what he's supposed to have gotten under the rules of boxing. Someone gets stripped if they don't fight you or don't come to a conclusion of how they're going to get to you. That's what the rules say. He got his belt, so it's not like he
used to be number one would fight number two. Like you had to win it in the ring.
I know, before you had an elimination tournament or an eliminator, and it would happen. But I guess the way it just happened, they just needed someone to have the belt, and we know that now. If he has the belt, he needs to fight the people that are coming up. And if Bud is not going to fight you, believe me, Bud is not the only one. He should call out Errol Spence, but Errol may not go back to
Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, that's the fight I wanted to see anyway before they even had a belt. Those two, Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis. Boots got more skill, probably a wash with power, but tenaciousness and all that. We'll get to see the tenacity.
I think my issue is they stripped him. I mean, they knew they had the rematch clause in the fight between Bud and Spence, and they stripped him because of that. Like they said, they don't recognize rematch clauses. I'm like, come on, y'all. That's the issue I have with it, because I understand you give it to the next guy, but you knew these guys had this clause.
When did they fight? In July? I don't even remember when they fought. Was it June?
July, something like that.
It hasn't even been 6 months. It hasn't even been 6 months.
In July.
Give him a chance.
Which belt was on the line when those two had fought?
All of them.
The whole thing.
So, see, because each belt has their time limit of when it's supposed to be defended.
Yeah, the whole winner got the undisputed title.
Yeah, and it's crap. I mean, but each section and body, they're all in it for themselves. You just happen to have all 3 belts, 4 belts, and they all have their own little entity. They own their own little entity. They charge their amount. They charge for their sanction and fee, all that other nonsense. Yeah. So if they want to say you have to have something done in 30 days, one can say 30, the other can say 90. Well, the one that said 30, well, shorter. You got to do it within their time period. And if you don't, they, in their opinion, have the right to strip you of the title. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. It splinters the title and it makes it almost seem much ado about nothing. What Spence and Crawford had just done. But you know what? At least it's going to a guy who looks and sounds and says he wants to fight everybody. That's Boots. And he has the fireworks to do it. So maybe he can even bring some more exciting fights. And if Bud sees it as worth his while after he builds up his brand, wants to fight, that big money fight will be waiting for him too.
You'll see.
They're going to take 18 months, 2 years.
No, that's what I don't like, because Bud is another older fighter.
Yeah, and Bud will be gone from 147.
Yeah.
And Bud has already said he doesn't care about 50-0. He's not even looking at what is believed to be a record, which it isn't.
He wants undisputed. He wants to be undisputed. That's it.
But do like Kawasaki. Get yourself 46 wins and move. You know what I mean? Just call it a career. You don't got to worry about it. 46, 47 wins, 50-0 isn't a big deal. And I think Bud is on that same trajectory. He's already proven he does things his own way, and it doesn't have to be what people expect. He just does what he said he's going to do.
How about this? Let him fight 6 MMA guys, and he can be 51-0.
Yeah, like the running man.
That's true, bro.
Like the running man, and this is not to throw dirt on Floyd, because I know he has a lot of flow-mos out there.
Oh, don't you know?
I say they keep forgetting Ricardo Lopez, El Finito, 51-0-1.
But he had that time. He had the draw.
51-0.
Because of the headbutt, and it went to the cars. It didn't even go to 12 rounds, so he didn't have to take over that fight. He won the rematch pretty handily. So
51-0-1. I mean, 50 undefeated.
The TBE crew also talks about, look, Chavez's record wasn't even undefeated. He had that one loss before that Don King had taken it away. There's always something in the ether they will come up with.
Castillo beat the brakes off of Floyd that first fight.
When a legendary fighter, which Floyd is and was, fighting a guy with no amateur boxing experience and fighting his first pro fight in Vegas, the most hypocritical place of them all. Anything in boxing is the most hypocritical place of them all, whether it's New York or Vegas, allowed it, sanctioned it as a legitimate fight.
Like I said, remember, this is the same place that he beat Castillo the first fight. Everyone knows Castillo whooped him that first fight.
Yeah, you know what? The shoulder injury, all that, you can say what you want. You still chose the fight. You still went in for it with the injury. And things didn't go the way you thought they would have gone. Yeah, but there was a rematch, and there was a rematch, and Floyd did what he probably should have done the first fight, but it doesn't take away that first fight, and the result was that. Well, the result
doesn't change what happened the first fight.
Like with Maidana, I think Maidana get out. I think
that first Maidana fight, I went to the theater to watch that fight.
Yeah,
and I remember, man, that's the first fight that I had seen with Floyd outside of Castillo. I was what a man.
Hey, hang on, guys. Hang on. I told you I got to be in and out today. So, Bosco, thank you for joining. Anybody watching, have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. Enjoy the 4Fs, family, friends, football, and food. I'm out of here. Got to go. Peace.
How he going to invite me to the show and leave early?
I got to go, man.
All right, man. I see you, bro.
I got stuff to do.
See how you do, man? Man, look here.
Man,
I need my
you
check
two guys
tomorrow.
are from the Bronx. You get along.
I need my check
about
tomorrow,
some football, man. Let's talk about Casey Dash again.
We're already 45 minutes in. You know, you're going to shut it down like 10 minutes anyway.
I need my check.
So,
you guys, there's not even a time limit.
For real, you guys have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks for joining. Trav, I'll see you on Monday. Peace.
All right, bro. Peace.
Easy, man.
All right, man.
How do I get out of here?
Just hit leave, man.
You're out.
So how long till I get out of here? Come on,
get out of here. Well, I guess that's how.
Yeah, I think. I think with Boots, like I said, he's the one saying how he's going to fight everybody. Okay, you are the champion. You got the belt. Now let's see if you.
Now you have a chance to fight everybody.
Right, because you're the champion.
Man, and the money has to be there. You know what I mean? In the beginning, he said it's not all about the money. You know, it's almost all about the money when you say it's not about the money. Yeah, but he also is one of those guys who's young enough. He's from Philadelphia, trying to uphold the tradition of Philly fighters who wants to go out there. He wants to get his money, but he also wants to put on a show, show how tough he is, show he's the best at what he does. And he still has to be biting and grinding and wanting to get at butt at some point or another, just to prove another point. You have to put a legend on your ledger in order to be accepted by the masses. And right now, us boxing people know about him, but he has to have that transcendent fight that's going to put him on that public mainstream.
Yeah, I didn't see really what Bud would have got out of fighting him. I really don't see, because he got the undisputed title. He said before the fight, my goal is to get the undisputed junior middleweight title from Charlo. He made that clear. So I didn't see anyone Boots fought for Bud to say, okay. I mean, I understand he's the number one contender. I understand all that, and I just feel Boots needs more. Season. Fight Ortiz. Call out Thurman. Somebody. You know
what? But you know what though? Thurman's the guy who's been calling people out, but that it's been disingenuous. He called you out, but then he wants some exorbitant amount of money that you know you're not going to get because, well, no one's going to give that money to watch you fight. He has been no time for so long that his name only carries weight, not even a lot of weight anymore.
You let Pacquiao whoop you.
Yeah, exactly. Pacquiao, Pacquiao's version of being shot beat him.
Whooped him.
Pacquiao's version of being a shot fighter beat him.
Whooped him. So yeah, if you want to do something, call Pacquiao for a rematch. Call Pacquiao fight anybody.
And Pacquiao wants to come back out anyway.
Yeah, he was fighting anybody. He don't care.
That's one fighter, man. I've never heard that he ducked anybody. I know people want to talk this nonsense, especially the Floyd followers. They want to claim that it was all Floyd, man. Pacquiao always wanted to fight. And they kept talking about the drugs and this and that on the other, man. Pacquiao always wanted to fight.
Always wanted to fight.
And you know what? And you could call him the catchweight queen, the queen if you want. But he always still wanted to fight, and he was willing to fight. And we saw the fighters on his resume. And if you ask who had the better pro career in terms of resume, well, I still kind of go with Floyd because Pacquiao's part of his resume as well.
Yeah. I would say I would say Floyd's probably the best fighter. But I say the most accomplished. I would say Pacquiao because this guy came up from flyweight.
Just volume.
Yeah, he came from flyweight, dude.
You know what I mean? Just overall volume, having fought the top fighters, giving guys rematches and
8 divisions, man.
4 fights with Marquez. Man, you're talking serious business right there. Floyd.
De La Hoya, he fought some fighters, man.
And on the other hand, Floyd gave you the one thing people don't want to give Floyd credit for, first of all, being a tough guy, because he's actually tough. This guy's taking shots. and he's still hung in there. He got caught in the second round against Mosley, walked him down in that same round, then cleaned him up the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
The same thing with Zab Judah. You know, he had some tough times in the first 3 or 4 rounds. Unfortunately, for Zab, fights all 12 rounds with championship caliber.
Right.
The rest of the rounds. But Floyd, man, I'll tell you, man, Floyd, if you gave him any problem, and if the cry is out there that, you know what, you really stuck it to him, he's going to give you a rematch.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to his career that we only seen 2 rematches because no one's really come that close to him. Castillo, we talked about, gave him the rematch. Madonna, we talked about, gave him the rematch. Who else came close enough?
I said I'm not a Floyd fan, but I give him his due. I give him his due. You know, I give him his due. He did what he had to do.
Well, absolutely. You know. And I'm not a Floyd hater either.
Yeah, I'm not a hater.
Again, while I was in the amateurs, Floyd was there in the PAL Nationals when I was there. He was a 125-pound 18-year-old. I was 139 when they used to have the 139-pound class. Knowing back then, of course. No longer 139. But anyway,
back then, 185, man. So
you know what I'm saying? No internet back then, no social media at all. We got our magazine every quarter of the USA Boxing magazine, and we would look at the rankings, and that's how we knew who was where. We read things all the time, even if you have to go to microfiche inside of a freaking library.
Microfiche, man,
that's a word that's.
If you don't know what that is, look it up.
It's not even in the dictionary anymore.
You know check that thing out, man.
We added something to the website. Let's kick this one out. And we would look at fighters on the list. And at the time, Antonio Tarver was the #1 light heavyweight world.
Yeah.
He was #1 in the US.
I met him. I wanted to fight him. I sparred with him. And
I saw him at the Nationals. And I gave that, and I spoke on our last show, and I gave him credit for it. And I'm going to always give Antonio Tarver credit. Obviously, not one of my favorite fighters, not one of my best fighters. I don't think he may be a French Hall of Famer. But I remember that it was an Olympic year. When I fought in those Nationals, it was from October 30th of 1995 to November 4th, 1995. And each winner from that weight class got an automatic bid to the Olympic trials, of course, which were going to be in Atlanta for 96.
Right.
And so the French national team, you know how they do it. The French national team brought their team over to fight USC. You know, they do that before the Olympics. Tarver went up there, whooped him, won, came back down to the Nationals and then won that. Oh, yo, this is a G right here. And you know how hard it is in the amateurs fighting day after day after day. This dude flew, came down and won that one too. And I went and spoke to him that time, man. And I was asking, yo, you gonna be champ one day? Piece of crap. He's like, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
You know, and I was like, bro, it was a cool deal. And I was there with Zahir Rahim, he's still a Facebook friend of mine. Zahir Rahim was there. That's when first time I saw Floyd. I heard of Floyd before, didn't really think much of it. I heard of him, but I knew Roger Mayweather, so that's how I knew the connection. And I remember his father way back. And so Floyd Mayweather, I heard about him, but he wasn't talked about like all the other guys.
No,
you know,
he wasn't.
Like he stood out. Demetrius, there was a kid there, Demetrius Craig, I think, Dante Craig. He was in my weight class from Cincinnati. And you had Layman Brewster was a heavyweight.
I remember
he was there, and he was married to the chick who played Pamela Martin. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she came with Tommy. The dude
she
played Tommy. Came to the fight, and everybody would take pictures. I'm not so big on pictures, so I was the one taking a picture. You know what I mean? The old school cameras and the disposables, taking pictures of them, you know, with Tommy and Pam and all that. It was cool. I think Lawrence Claybay was there.
Okay,
you know, he's the heavyweight. You know, so there was a hell of a lot of fighters there. And there was the kid named Anthony Stewart. He was a light heavyweight.
That
and the reason why I remember Anthony Stewart, everybody knew he's from Chicago. He's a light heavyweight, nationally ranked. Well, the big thing about his fight was he had this little ritual, I believe he did before fights. He would scream loud and kind of like hype himself up for a fight once he was in the ring. Damn. And you know, there's 3 rings inside there because it's a tournament. And they called him to come to the ring. He comes to the ring. He's doing his thing. He's doing his screaming routine. They call his opponent. The opponent starts walking to the ring. Then turns away. He gets
damn.
Man.
That's the ultimate.
Get
in your head right
everybody there. Flipped, man. Other fighters was flipping. Trainers like, that's a damn shame. He wasted somebody else's spot who would have been more than happy, even if they lost, to get in that ring. Man, Royce Jones's father, who I've dealt with on several occasions because at the time I was in Alabama, so that Gulf Coast area was all about, you know, I went to Alabama State University.
Oh,
so
all right, word.
Yeah, being in the Gulf Coast area, I dealt with a lot of Roy Jones's people, Roy Jones' father's people, Roy Sr. And in fact, I fought, you know, Murad Muhammad.
This
Mataba. I fought Mataba.
Let me tell you about Murad Muhammad. Me and
good.
Yeah, it's good. And me and Bryce, we met on the ESPN thing. It was a online boxing game. WNBL. And we had our own little private group. And Murad Muhammad joined our group, and I think Bias had left by then. Him and Max Kellerman had a competition in there, and they made their little fighters. I think Murad beat Max Kellerman. I don't know, but Murad was chirping, and we was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah. Him and Max Kellerman was going back and forth, going trashing each other. But Murad, he's pretty cool though. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a Jersey dude, little street dude.
Yeah, I know.
A street dude that make well. He moved down to Pensacola, had a house down there. His son Mataba's from down there as well. Mataba also has a sister. But you know what? And that's when I fought Mataba, so I dealt with a lot of Royce Senior's people. Yeah. And the time I spoke to Royce Senior the most was during the PAO Nationals. I freaking lost, but I stayed a little longer because I had teammates that hadn't lost yet. Yeah. And so one night, the night that I lost, Royce Senior and I stayed up from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. We watched the sun come up. And Roy's father told me everything. Yeah. And some of the things I was like, I can't believe he's full of it, because I've dealt with boxing people and I know they can be full of it. And most of them are, when they start, he said so much stuff. I was like, I can't believe this, man. I don't know if he really.
And this is Roy's father saying this.
Roy's father's telling me a lot of things.
Singing,
And he told me about shooting Roy's sister's dog and the whole deal. He fought Marvin Hagler. Roy's father.
I didn't know that.
Marvin Hagler knocked him out when he came home from Vietnam.
I didn't know that.
Got knocked out in the 4th round. And we look at Marvin Hagler's record. It's Roy Jones.
I had to look at that. I didn't know that.
Damn. But anyways, a few years later, that show Beyond the Glory starts coming on Fox. Every freaking day, the story about Roy Jones, everything his father told me was in that show. I was like, yo, this dude was telling the truth. Damn. Bro, this dude was legit.
Maybe that's why they fell out. I don't know.
His father's hardcore. His father's hardcore. Let me say it again. Roy Senior is old school hardcore, and he's probably, at least when I was there, the most respected guy in amateur boxing. I mean,
I kind of figured that, because he just seemed like it.
Like he's
really like, you're gonna grind with me. Yeah.
But when we was down on the floor, didn't matter who Lou Duva was down there, they were still calling Roy Senior.
That's the guy I wish I'd have met, was Lou Duva. I wish I'd have met him.
Oh, Lou Duva was down. They're doing that recruiting for the fighters that might be coming in the next wave. Man, and Roy Senior, man, everybody was giving him respect, and he deserved it. Well, my head trainer didn't come out to Dallas with me, because that's what the PO Nationals were. He had to work. Yeah. So, I was out there with an assistant trainer, and since we were part of the Gulf Coast, Roy's father was kind of overseeing a lot of the things that we did. Yeah. We were doing our warm-ups in order to get ready for the competition that Monday that started. And Roy's father has us hit the bag. And we're hitting the bag. Yeah. I'm expecting a bell, 3 minutes or whatever. Yeah. He starts talking to somebody, and he's talking to him about at least 40 minutes. I'm not even kidding.
And you just hitting the bag.
And we hitting the bag. I'm thinking about stopping. I think Mataba was like, yo, he shook his head. Nah. Don't do it. Let me keep doing this. I'm going like kind of half-ass on it now. I'm not trying to hit this thing all that
40 minutes. Because that's
Then he finally finishes with dude. He comes up to us, okay, let's start. You serious? And Mataba was like, yep, he's serious. We have to do it all over again, like nothing stopped, like nothing happened. I was pissed, like, bro.
I was like, I need another trainer, y'all.
But this is Roy Senior, man. You know what I mean? You can't talk, man. He says what's on his mind. He don't care who you are. He birthed. He raised one of the greatest of all time. Yeah. So you can't tell him anything. And that was at the time when Roy was undefeated. There wasn't even Montel Griffith on his record. Yeah. So he was just the talent that everybody just wished they had. So you couldn't say nothing to Roy's father, and he kind of knew it, but he would just curse out like nobody's business. He was just a hardcore man. And then I saw him again for the first time at Roy Jones' third fight with Tarver down in Tampa. Yeah, I was the head boxing coach for the University of Florida. Had a boxing club. I took one of my fighters down there. We ran into Mataba. Yeah, and he was going to be the other club. He's like, "Yo, I'm sick. I can't fight."
Oh shoot!
Roy's father. He didn't recognize me in the beginning because I wasn't 139 anymore. Yeah. He was like, hey,
we can't say it that way all the time,
No, bro. I played semi-pro football up there at the Harlem Hurricanes and Washington Heights Falcons. I was thinking, like, by the time I got here, like 185, like almost 190. So big difference. But anyway, I saw him. He's like, hey man, good, nice to see this kind of thing. Yeah, not like boy, but it was cool.
Yeah, anyway. That's what's up, man. Man, damn. I don't even know what to say after that. I'm still laughing at Anthony Stewart yelling, and my man went back to the
Anthony
locker room.
Stewart, bro. He's screaming. And dude, what, man? Oh, like a dude just turned around and didn't want to fight. He got a walkover in that fight. He won with a walkover.
Dude, you can't box on my team no more.
Oh,
that's it for
I don't know
you.
what happened to a homeboy. Matter of fact, you know who was there? John Scully. About a last year sometime.
Yeah.
I was on the internet, saw John Scully. We started going back and forth on some things.
Yeah.
And I mentioned about the Nationals. He's like, yo, bro, I was there. And we started connecting notes. And then, yo, bro, he caught it like, yeah, he remember everything, man.
Damn, dude. That's wild.
Yeah.
With the 1 hour mark.
Bro, it's
yeah.
Boxing's done some great things, man.
I love it, man. I mean, I love football, but boxing,
bro, I can't get it. I could just sit by just watching it until if I'm gonna die one day just watching something, that would be what would be on the television. Watching Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I have so many fights on VHS. I'm still converting over to digital. I mean, I probably got about 200-300 fights, man, and I still have a VCR, and sometimes pop them in.
Yeah. But I'm surprised you didn't have a beta system. One of them betas, boy.
Hey,
back in the day.
Tape, if I had one, I put that in there too. You know what I mean?
I went to the PL. I went to the Times Square gym that used to be in Times Square.
Yeah,
that's where I went. And
oh man,
when I was there, I was a young buck, man, and there was nothing but adults there. I used to see a lot of the pros, and you know, you see guys on television. You think that's the best of the best. You see guys in these gyms. You're like, why isn't this dude a champ? You know what I mean? There was this kid named Marvin, 147.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, bro, this is one of the best dudes I've ever seen in person. Well, I didn't see a whole lot of fights in person, but I was like, man, one of the best dudes I've seen in person.
Yeah.
He was 0-2. So I'm asking my homeboy, Iceman, Eddie Tyler, I was like, yo, why is he 0-2? Man, he can't leave the women alone. And he drinks and this and that. And I'm like, really? And that's the reason why? I'm thinking that you just don't try hard enough. I see him in the gym doing his jump rope, doing his crunches, doing his sparring. Yeah. But then that stuff you do on the outside can take away a lot from what you're doing. I was a young knucklehead at the time, so I didn't know better. So Iceman ends up befriending me, and he invites me to his comeback fight. He's been away from boxing, I believe, since '85 at that point. This is 1990. He had a drug and alcohol problem.
Still a while, while.
He invited me to his fight. So it was in Atlantic City. We stayed at he asked me, first of all, I had no money. So he's like, yo, we'll come meet Atlantic City, come back fight. I already knew. Bro, I was a messenger at the time. I had no freaking money. Bro, I was getting $350 an hour, $350, $375 an hour.
It was somewhere around there.
You know what I mean? That minimum wage is killing the cat back
People don't realize how cheap it was back then. $325, $350, those days.
So dude was like, yo, you want to come out to watch the fight in Atlantic City? And I already knew money, bro. Nah, I'm good. He said, nah, man, you don't got to pay for it. The promoter's going to pay for it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
He's like, who's the promoter? And I think he mentioned Butch Lewis. I already knew Butch Lewis was.
Yeah, we don't know Butch Lewis.
I was like, so I'm still thinking in my head, how is this going to all work out?
Yeah.
And then I found out when we get out there, and I drove with Harold Weston Sr. His son fought Tommy Hearns and Pipino Cuevas.
Yeah, I remember
And then I was the dude named Willie Dunn. He was Lonnie Davis's father. Lonnie Davis now changed his name to Nikon Davis. He's Muslim now. Yeah. But anyway, we get out there to Atlantic City. We go to the boardwalk, and some dude comes by. And he starts talking. And remember, this is back when Michael Moorer was the light heavyweight champion, had all knockout.
Yeah.
And Pops, we call Harold Weston Sr. Pops because he was old. And what he done, they start talking to this dude. And this dude starts talking. I'm not even paying attention. And then he says, so I think I can knock out Michael Moorer. That got my attention.
Yeah, I'd have been like, what?
I look at this kid like, who the hell is this dude?
Yeah.
He looks old. We had scar tissue in his eye. So like he probably did box before. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he's talking and talking. I think I can do it. They just don't want me to get a chance. They don't want to mess up their apple cart or cash cow, whatever he was saying. I'm thinking to myself, bro, and in fact, I think that's when Michael Moore just beat Cedillo. I forgot that kid's name, Cedillo. Yeah. But anyway, the dude leaves, and I'm like, Pops, who is that?
Yeah.
He's like, that's the champ. I'm like, the champ who? Freaking Matthew Saad Muhammad, man.
What?
No BS. And on my way to the freaking fight, because it's a 2-hour ride between New York City
and City.
I was reading my Ring magazine, and in that same magazine, they wrote an article about him of how he was going through tough times, and how his wife was working at Trump Casino, not Trump Casino, Convention Center at the time as a front desk person.
Yeah,
and I guess just front desk person, and she was the breadwinner. Yeah, and he had lost a couple of fights in a row at this time. I was like, bro, I just read about this, and I knew him from watching him as a kid.
Yeah.
Now, like, I can't believe this, man. This dude, Man, I felt bad because I know he can't beat Michael Moore, but to know the mindset of a fighter.
Yeah.
And then you know how he was as a cat when he was coming up. You just knew that he wasn't just saying it, just be saying it. He believed it, even though it was nowhere to be true. He'll get knocked out in the first round. But he really believed he could fight, and he needed that he could beat Michael Moore and win the belt.
Dang.
Man, that was a hell of a moment. And then
that's wild, man.
That wasn't the end of it.
Yeah.
Iceman, that's my first professional fight. My first professional fight to go to watch. I happened to be in the corner and in the locker room with the fighter who's fighting.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about boxing.
Yeah.
As far as the business part.
Yeah, yeah.
We go to the hotel. Mm-hmm. The next, I'm asking Iceman, who's he fighting? He's like, I don't know yet. You don't know yet. We ultimately get down to the Wayne the next morning.
Yeah.
The dude he's fighting, I see he's 2-1. Iceman was like 7-12 or something like that.
Oh, dang.
I still didn't know how I was fighting opponent back then. So I'm thinking he has experience. He should be able to beat this guy.
Mm-hmm.
As it turns out, this dude was 2-1. Iceman, this dude just got out of prison. 2-1, fighting Iceman, who's 7-3, 7-12 at the time. It was on BET. It was a swing fight. John Duplessis from New Orleans was the headliner.
I remember him.
Yep, he ended up fighting Chavez.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm lacing Iceman's boots. He came out with this nice pink outfit. He was looking like Pinkley Thomas. So we go to the freaking ring.
Yeah.
We get the fight finally because he had to warm up 3 times, and they said, "Oh no, not now," because it was a swing fight. So they put him on TV because they had time because the main event, John Duplessis knocked out his guy.
Yeah.
We go to the ring, and I'm thinking Iceman's gonna beat this guy because of the experience factor. He has at least 7 wins.
Yeah.
He just got out of prison not too long ago.
Yeah. So my Iceman just got out. Oh, you talking about the guy?
I know the dude that he was fighting just got out.
Got out. Okay.
I'm like, oh, bro, he should be able to beat this dude.
Yeah.
First round, they fighting. This dude jumps right on him, puts him in a headlock twice, throws him down to the canvas, gets warned, dirty as hell. Then ultimately knocks Iceman out in the first round. I was 18 years old. I almost felt like crying.
Dang.
As it turned out, freaking Bernard Hopkins. Yep. Go to Bernard Hopkins' record. Go to his fourth fight.
The guy that knocked Iceman out was Bernard Hopkins.
Bernard Hopkins. He was 2-1.
You know what? It just goes to show Hopkins never changed his style.
He was, bro. People ask me when I tell them that story, they're like, how good did you realize he was gonna be a champ? I said the only thing I remember, he was dirty as hell. That never changed. That never changed.
Execution stayed the same way. He'll do his little dirty stuff where the ref can't see it. But you look at it on TV, like, you see what happened? But I love me some Bernard Hopkins, man.
Bro, the fight wasn't long enough to find out how great he was or how great he wasn't. But it was long enough to see how dirty he was. He threw him down twice with a headlock. The ref warns him, then he knocks him out.
And he used that headlock his whole career.
Shoot, the way he beat up on Iceman, man. And the thing about it, even after that, no one knew who he was. But years later, I found out later on when he fought Roy Jones. I was like, that's the guy who fought Iceman. And that's when I started following him all the time.
That's crazy, man. That's wild.
Yep. Iceman I think he got $400 for that fight.
Damn.
Remember, this is 1990.
Yeah.
So he got $400 for that fight. Willie Dunn got his money because he had his Ford, his Bronco that drove us out there. I think it was a Blazer Bronco that drove us out there. Pops was the cut man, so he got his money. So he wanted to give me money for helping him out. I was like, bro, just getting a chance to come out, he was good. He's like, man, just take it. Give me $20. I'm like, man, I don't need $20, man. I was in your freaking corner, man.
Take that money. Take that
my
money.
first boxing experience is at a pro fight. My first boxing pro experience is in a pro fight, lacing the boots behind the scenes.
Bernard Hopkins.
It was Bernard freaking Hopkins. Check the box rec. Look at his fourth fight. He fought Eddie Tyler. And Iceman died from cancer back in, I think, 2013 or 14.
Oh man.
Yeah, he was about 50 years old. But
I think the one person that really, I mean, I met Ali, but the one person who really had me like, oh shit, was Floyd Patterson.
Oh really?
It was the first time I went to the PAL. Like the first time I ever said I was going to box. I took the train down Manhattan to get my weight, and I was standing there, and I was looking at him. I'm 15 years old. I'm looking at him. And the guy like, who you looking at? I said, that guy. He said, you don't know who that is? Like you said about the champ. He said, that's the champ. And I'm like, who? I recognize him, but I didn't recognize him.
Yeah.
You know, and I was looking, that's Floyd Patterson. And I was like,
from New Paltz, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh shit. So he walks up to me. He said, you trying to box? I said, he said, how much you want? I'm about 160, 165. So he threw some playful jazz at my rib, like, okay, you put this out there, young man. And just him hit me in my stomach made me feel like, hell yeah, I'm the shit. Yeah. But, you know, he was hit me. Yeah, he hit me. He said, who's your favorite boxer? Now, Muhammad Ali was my favorite boxer.
That's always mine.
And I was like, Mr. Patterson, Muhammad Ali. He said, I knew you were going to say that. I didn't want to say because I knew how.
Have you seen our 2 fights?
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to say it because I was like, man, they fought each other too. And I said, Muhammad Ali, sir, Mr. Patterson. He said, I knew he was going to say that. He said, but that's okay. We're still going to get you in here. And I was like, and I got back on the train by myself. Man, I think I got off. I didn't get off on my stop. I know that for a fact. I think I got off on Prospect. And I walked all the way. Yeah, I walked all the way.
Train line?
Prospect,
or 2 train?
2 train.
2 train.
I got off. I think it's either Prospect or Allerton. I got off one of them, and I walked all the way to
Skate Key used to be.
The Skate Key, exactly. I walked all the way to 219th Street. I walked all the way to 219th Street because I was so hyped. And Mama said, "What took you so long?" I said, "I got off the train." She said, "Why?" I said, "Mom." She said, "What?" I said, "I met Floyd Patterson today." See, my uncle was there. He saw me. He said, "What? Floyd, the boxer?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "He punched me in the stomach about 5 times." He said, "Did it hurt?" I said, "No, he didn't hit me hard." He said, "Damn." He said, "Where you at right now?" I said, "He down at the spot, at the joint down there." Because he was going to walk down just to meet him himself.
Yeah.
I said, "Nah, man, down at I forgot where we went. But he wanted to go down there and meet him." I said, "Dude, I was in Manhattan, man." He said, "Oh." He said, "Damn, I should have went with you." And that was like the pinnacle of my life.
That was my mom's favorite fighter, man. You know,
yeah?
Floyd used to like boxing and follow it. My mother liked Floyd Patterson. That was her guy.
Man,
you know what I mean? So I could dig that. Ali's always been my guy.
Ali's my guy, man.
I went to his funeral, everything.
Oh, man.
Yeah, bro. There was nothing going to keep me away from that. In fact, I thought Bert Sugar was being spiteful when he died, so I couldn't go. Because there was a little thing when Bert was living. I was like, yo, bro, I need to stay alive just in case Muhammad Ali dies before you.
Yeah.
Get me to the funeral.
Yeah.
Look what he did. He decides he wants to die earlier.
He wants to die early. Yeah, exactly.
Devices. So I was like, you know what? We're still getting it.
Bert Sugar. That's the name. A lot of boxers today. A lot of boxing fans don't know like Bert Sugar.
Oh no. He was a family friend. I mean, legitimately a family friend.
Really?
My kids dug dirt holes in his front lawn, and his wife Suzanne was like, "Oh, I was tripping, like, bro." And they're just kids.
Yeah.
Because I used to go to the NFL draft.
Yeah.
And from the NFL, I did media, so I covered the NFL draft. And before we would come back to Jacksonville, we would go up there to see him because he would always say, and I made a video about it. In fact, on his 10th anniversary of passing away, I made a video about Bert Sugar.
Yeah.
And I talked about how he would always say, "Bring the kids over so I could get him a Coke." They haven't gotten that first Coke yet. Bruh, come on now. It's like, yo, I'm going to buy him a Coke. They haven't got that first Coke yet.
Bert Sugar, man.
My dog, I mean, legitimate.
Legend, man. Legend.
We had
dude had some knowledge, freaking encyclopedia, man.
Everything that he did was so old school. He didn't have a computer. His wife did everything for him. She did all of the reservations, anything that had to do with electronics. He didn't know how to use a cell phone. When I was doing radio here in Jacksonville and there was a big fight, I would tell him, "Yo, Bert, I want to have you on." He was like, "Hey," it was, he'll be in Vegas, 3-hour difference from Florida. He would say, "Make sure you call at certain time. If I said 5:15, make sure you call at 5:15 because he's standing by the phone in the conference room, by the phone like a freaking drug dealer, like by those pay phones at the New York."
That sounds like him, man.
Bro, and
that sounds like him.
The cheapest of all time, too, by the way. But
just watching him talk, because he would sit there, they would ask him a question. He'd be like, "Yeah, and in 1945, he would just rattle it off like he was there,
Bert just knew, man, his knowledge of boxing, but it was even just regular politics. Yeah, it was sports. It was horse racing. Man. It was football. He gave me a book of college football.
Yeah,
Punch Hilfiger was there. Huffenfigger figure was there.
Yeah,
from Yale. He's like, I met him when I was 14 years old. Oh, when you was 14, and Punch had a little bit of beard on him at the time, or whatever the heck.
This was born in
1889 Yale squad. Or
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, man. So but Bert was, man, every bit of what people might have thought and more in terms of just knowing things and being the actual character. I had him come down here one time for we have a Guns and Hoses event where the policemen and firemen fight each other for charity.
Oh yeah.
They had what they call celebrity judges. It was me, him, and Roy Jones.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. It was crazy, man. And there's some other local people.
Yeah.
And I was on the fraternal order police committee here, the promotions committee. So they asked me, we know that you know Burt, can you get him to come down here?
Yeah.
So he comes down. He says yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not gonna pay him, but they said we're gonna comp him whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So he swallowed his pride. Like, I'm coming. Tell him that I'm coming on your invite.
Yeah.
So he comes down here. When I pick him up at the airport, he has these big glasses on. No one knows him with glasses.
Yeah, nah.
No one knows
that hat he always wore.
He has the hat and the glasses on. They're old grandfather glasses.
I wouldn't know who he was.
So no one was looking at him. No one say anything. His ego got the best of him. He takes his glasses off, puts them away, and people start coming up to him like, "Hey, aren't you Burt?" Because we've also promoted that he.
That sound like him,
bro. What a ham! That dude was a ham.
He. You know what? I never met the man. I always watched him on TV on Tuesday night fights, Thursday night fights on ESPN. I always watched him when he talked because I was like, I know when he talks boxing, he's gonna give me the historic part. He's gonna go deep into it. And he always just seemed like the type of person that he would sit there, and if you didn't recognize him, he's gonna do something. Say, let me let these people. He just looked like it because he just had that lean, that confidence. Like, you don't know me, I'm Burt Sugar.
Yep. The irony is, I used to cover the NFL draft, like I said, and I would see Burt at the draft. We would catch up and talk. There was one draft, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was when Terrence Newman came in, I believe. I can't remember it for sure. But anyways, you know how the players go to the podium and it was Paul Tagliabue at the time. That was the jersey, the whole deal.
Yeah.
From there, they go to the media room, the national media room. They get they call it a gangbang, where they just kind of throw questions at them for the national media.
Yeah.
And but anyway, and then they go to the little lounge area where it's just a spread of the universe, man. They had the hell of a spread there, nice catering.
Yeah.
And we was in there. And everybody wanted to see Burt Sugar. And Stephen A was there. This is before he became popular.
Oh, man.
No one even talked to this dude.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted to talk to Burt. And for someone who did recognize him, oh, what's up? This that. Burt came in. They left him alone with the Burt. I want to take a picture. My family's been boxing fan for this long. This, now, the other. Yeah. I was like, man. And that's before, he was on ESPN, but he wasn't as big as Burt.
Yeah.
But man, and now he's big,
Who do you know? Who do you know right now? Who would you say right now would be the authority on boxing if we had to pick someone out there in the boxing world?
Man,
whether it be fighter or whatever, who would you think would be?
I mean,
no one's on his level.
Max Kellerman has to be someone up there.
Okay,
he would be someone that you would have to defer to somewhat because Newfield is dead and Burt's gone. You got a lot of the old curmudgeons are gone.
Yeah,
and the new age guys, that's something I might have to put some thought into. But Max Kellerman will be the first one because he's probably the most well-known in terms of the boxing history, and I can get really into depth about it and give you a real anecdotal story about it.
Yeah.
These other guys, they can mention names, this and that, but they know that their emotions get in the way. And I know boxing does that, gets your emotions involved.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but Max Kellerman would be one. On national, on local radio here and on live air, Burt Sugar denoted me as a boxing historian.
Oh, man.
He and I used to argue so much his phone should die.
I wouldn't try to argue with him. I wouldn't try to argue with Burt.
Oh, we argue so freaking much. He would curse me out because I didn't agree with him. We had during one of those Guns and Hoses events.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had a limo company.
Yeah.
We had a thing called have dinner with Burt and I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We was on the radio. We promoted it. Yeah. So we gave an easy boxing question out, and no one got it. So I was like, yo, who was the fighter who beat Sugar Ray Leonard for his first first loss? They didn't know it. So we went like, yo, okay, what fighter was part of was No Mas, the main Durante No Mas? No one knew it. It took a guy from New York to call up to say Sugar Ray Leonard for him to win. He wins the competition. He comes with his wife. We all get in a limo. I had a friend of mine who was a communications guy with the Jaguars at the time. He brought his wife. I had my wife and I had my daughter at the time. I had two photographers I knew come with us and Burt.
Yeah.
We took a half-hour trip from there to the destination we were going to have the dinner.
Yeah.
Man, we argued the entire half hour. This dude said I should have paid for this. Dude that went to college, he's like, I would have paid to listen to this argument, man.
I can imagine, man.
We was going back and forth, and he was like, "Dumb shit, you don't know anything." Burt told him,
he just see like somebody that, if you didn't agree with, he's coming back at you.
Oh yeah, he was like, "You think you know everything?" Yeah, and I was like, "No, man, you think you know everything." And I was like, "If it wasn't in black and white, it doesn't exist to you." And we just went back and forth, man. It was cool, man. Bert and I had that little thing going on.
I think if I had to pull up, I would say Max Kellerman for one.
Yeah,
definitely. I would say Al Bernstein.
Al Bernstein.
Yeah. And I would probably put Mike Tyson somewhere in there.
Mike,
because he knows a lot.
People look at Mike Tyson as a throwaway historian. That's Mike Tyson because he's studied boxing. But yeah, you're talking about if you had a boxing show and you wanted someone's real insight, Mike Tyson would be someone you would bring on that can talk about these old school fighters and other legendary fighters that's not part of the mainstream.
I like Al Bernstein. I like his perspective on a lot of stuff. I'm glad he's still around with us too.
I'm glad too, man. Hall of Fame, well deserved. Hell of Fame, well deserved.
Yeah.
The one incident when Bert Sugar, the last time I actually ran into Bert, not ran into him, but last time I dealt with him in person, was at the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2011 when Mike Tyson got in, Kashin Zhu, Sylvester Stallone, Joe Cortez, and I think Julio Cesar Chavez, and we went up there. I used to be the boxing coach for the University of North Florida's boxing club, so one of my fighters came with as well, and we was at I think it was Graciano, I think it is. There's a restaurant that used to be there by the Boxing Hall of Fame. Everybody knows who's been there. And there's a guy who came up to us and asked Bert Sugar a question about boxing he did not know. And he didn't know, I knew. I didn't know either. I was like, wow. Bert's ego was so big.
I can imagine.
I'm eating right now.
He probably ate that cigar.
He was like, yo, I'm eating right now. And when he was eating, the guy went away. Okay. He goes to my friend Kerry. He's like, find out what happened. Kerry had bad signal up there from his phone, so he couldn't get the on Google on that well. He had to walk around and find a signal. Came back, got the answer. Told Bert. Then Bert tells this guy, it's so-and-so. That guy's like, man, you great, man.
Oh, if he only knew the truth.
For real. Not that Bert didn't know anything, but it was just funny.
That's crazy because I would expect Bert. I don't think I could ask him a question he didn't know because the guy was a freaking encyclopedia, man. He goes all the way back to freaking James Corbett and all that. The
deal is this. If you had a next door neighbor of yours that boxed, but he wasn't anybody, well, he's a boxer. He's part of boxing history. You can ask Bert Sugar, he wouldn't know.
Right.
So you can't know everything. Your next door neighbor, Tom Johnson, he's 1-8. Bert would know. You know what I mean? Yeah. But people, that's how you can kind of narrow that down. And you just can't know everything. But I also knew something had to be up with Bert that day because ever since I've known Bert, that guy had never gone in his pocket for anything, including those Cokes. He was cheap. And so
that cigar.
The cigar those are his own cigars.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Brand. Yeah, his Bert Sugar cigars. And at that same Hall of Fame, he paid for lunch for all of us at the table. Bert's never paid for anything. But in true Bert fashion, as I mentioned in that video that I had made of him, Bert goes back to the counter and he's like, yo, Tony, I think it was Tony Graciano.
Yeah.
He's like, can you take the taxes off? Freaking Bert.
Oh, Bert?
Can you take the taxes off, man? True freaking Bert Sugar
That's
fashion,
what you call cheap.
Dang. And this dude had no reason to be that cheap.
Can you take the tax? Come on, man. Come on, Bert.
Look,
rest in peace, Bert Sugar.
He lived down the block, not too far from Hillary and Bill Clinton.
That's what I'm saying.
He lived in Chappaqua, New York. You already know about Chappaqua, man.
Yeah.
I went to his freaking house.
Yeah.
He used to give me a tour. Yeah. He showed me his old Joe Louis match smelling ticket stubs.
Yeah.
Not that he went, but he was able to get them.
Yeah.
He showed me man. His wife was like, I was like, Bert, what are you going to do with this stuff if you ever go? His wife's like, I'm throwing it in the garbage.
No,
she's not. That's $200,000 at least. Sitting in that office.
That was just this.
Yeah, you thought she was just talking out of here, bro.
That. And for all those who watching this, if you don't know about Bert Sugar, look him up.
Look him up.
Bert Sugar is probably one of the most knowledgeable boxing heads you ever known.
And an overall nice guy. Overall nice guy.
Let's watch the videos on him.
As I mentioned earlier about him going to that Guns N' Roses event that we were so-called, those two were celebrities. Roy Jones and Bert were celebrities. Yeah. I was just a local guy, celebrity, I guess, because I did sports radio.
And you gotta live it up, man. You gotta live it up, dude. For real, you gotta live it up.
They didn't pay him for coming down. I think his appearance fee was like $5,000 or whatever it was, $10,000, whatever it was. He waived that to come down. Yeah. But once again, true Bert Sugar fashion. He had a book that just came out. He had his publishers shipped down like 30 books.
Dang.
And it came, and I carried those in the limo in the back. We got to the restaurant, and he sold those freaking books at the restaurant, autographed them and sold them. This one guy bought 13 of them.
That's Burt Sugar.
Yep.
That guy, man. Look him up, y'all. Burt Sugar. Just like you spell it. BurtSugar. Burt Sugar.
Yep. Burt Randolph Sugar, if you want to tell the entire name.
Look him up. He wore a hat, smoked a cigar.
Yep. And that's and I always was happy to say he was a legitimate family friend. I got a picture with he and my daughter when she was like 3 years old. In fact, it was at that restaurant. He got, he was just a flake sometimes. He had help punching him in the chin and all that stuff, man. Burt was just
when he passed away, I was like, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was at home and it came across the screen and I was like,
exactly what happened.
Wait a minute. I said, Burt Sugar? And I waited till it came and was like, Burt Sugar. I was like, wow, I was like, not Burt Sugar. It just like blew me away, man. I was like, damn.
Let me tell you the story though. It was during spring break of my kids going to school. It was 2011. Was it 2011? Yeah, it was 2011.
Yep.
I think it was 2000. No, 2000. I think it was 2012. Yeah,
2012. 2012. Yeah.
2012.
Yeah, 2012. Yeah.
Yeah, spring break. And that Tuesday, I called him up and let him know, I'm coming up to New York for spring break.
Yeah.
He told me the bit about the sodas again. The Coke. Bring the kids over, get them a Coke, all that other stuff, man. I like bet. But you know what? Leading up to that, a couple of months before, when he told me he finally told me he had cancer.
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time. And I thought, when he said they found a spot on my lung, I was even thinking about like a cancerous spot. I'm like, wipe it off and pretty much move on.
Right, yeah, right. You ain't going nowhere.
And then now in process, I was like, a spot. He's like, I said, lung cancer? I don't know. Yeah. And then I kind of like left it alone, didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
A few months later, I think that's when the Cotto Mayweather fight was supposed to happen in June.
June, yep.
I think it was June. I was like, are you going? In the beginning, he was like, I'll see. But then by January, he was like, I don't think I'm going. Yeah. And then in March, he was like, February, he was like, I don't think I'm going. Yeah. I'm like, bro, this is a pretty damn big fight. So if he's not going, man, something must be wrong for real. He used to gamble football games because he played with Michigan. And it was just insane that when he finally passed, anyway, my wife, my daughter, and my son and I, we went up for spring break. And I remember my wife and I used to always kind of kid and say, one day we're going to be watching ESPN and we're going to see Burt Sugar's name come across the crawl. Yeah. Burt Sugar passed away. We would say that for years, just laughing about it. Yeah. And then I was at the hotel because we ended up staying at a hotel, the LaGuardia, right across from the airport. The kids went to the Bronx to go to church to see her family. I stayed home. I stayed at the hotel. I'm watching on my laptop Julio Cesar Chavez and Mildred and Pernell Whitaker. I'm watching that fight on my laptop. I got ESPN on the television. Yeah. I'm not even paying attention to it. My phone rings. I look at my phone and I see a friend of mine's name on it who rarely calls. Yeah. He's in media also. He rarely calls. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I pick it up. What's up? He's like, man, I'm sorry to hear about Burt. I'm sorry about Burt Sugar. And I'm like, sorry for what? And as I'm saying, I kind of like turned to the TV, the crawl. Yeah. Or ESPN is going. Yeah. And I'm like, oh. He said, yeah, I'm sorry, man. Because people knew I was cool like that with him. Like, like, I'm sorry. Like, holy crap. Like, bet. I hung up. And I was sat there like, I can't believe this.
Yeah, for real. Like, I didn't know the guy like you knew him. Yeah. But he was that guy that
he was.
I had to listen to him. Man.
I called him that Wednesday. I called him that Tuesday to let him know I was coming up. Yeah. I think his wife told me he went to the hospital that Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going to see him before I left. Yeah. No, I left. Ended up leaving that Monday. Yeah. But anyway, when I was like, wow, what the hell? So I call his phone. He has an old school answering service. He never had one of those electronic ones. He still had the tape recorder joint. And he would leave crazy little greetings like, I'm not here now. Can you leave me a message saying things like that? I called it up, man. And I knew I would get his voicemail because it's in a separate room from his wife. Yeah. And I just like, yo, Burt, I just heard that you died. I said, what the hell are we going to do now? And I hung up. Yeah. And that was it. And that's all I did, man. Yeah. The next day I had to leave to go to New York. And we got to the airport. And I called again. And his wife picks up, somebody else picks up. Yeah. And I say, may I speak to Suzanne, or his wife? Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, no, she's busy right now. And I understood, Yeah. My husband just freaking died. So I'm about to hang up. Yeah. Right here, Suzanne in the back says, who is that? And she's like, who are you? And I told her my name. Yeah. And she told Suzanne, she says, no, let me speak to him. And I spoke to Suzanne. And she's like, And I'm like, I can't believe he's gone. She's like, I think, God wanted him to go home. He was suffering because he never showed that he was going through pain.
Never showed it, man.
Never showed it. It's like God wanted him to come home and get him out of the pain. And then she asked me, "Can you come to are you gonna come to the funeral on Friday? I think it was Saturday." And I was like, "Oh crap!" I looked at the bill because my wife just spent literally thousands of dollars up in New York. And I was like, "Holy crap!" Anyway, I was like, "Oh man," I was like, "I'm gonna try." She's like, "If you can't, that's good too. He'll understand, and we understand." So bet I tried like hell, man. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it, man.
When he passed away, man, like I said, I seen it on the ticker, like you got on it right now at the bottom. And I was like, wait a minute. Stop everything. And I watched it come across. And then they said, we want to talk about the top of the show, boxing historian, then the Berkshire, 70-something died. I was like, what? I said, I didn't even know the guy was sick.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was sick. I was like,
I remember, man.
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday seeing that thing. I was like,
yep. And he died of cardiac arrest, though, not from the cancer.
Oh, really?
I'm sure there was more pressure because of the cancer. You know what I'm saying? That
I mean, I never knew. I didn't know how he passed away. Actually, till you just said it, because I never looked because I was like, damn. I remember when he passed away. I know it was like August or something. I know it was 2012. I know it was like summertime or late spring or something. I know it was somewhere in there, but I never looked because I was like, I couldn't look at it. I was like, dang, man, this dude, man. Sugar, man.
So Carlos was in the house at one point. So he said, we here, bro. That's what Carlos in Waco, Texas. That's a huge boxing fan. I wanted to have him on the panel, but he's doing his thing out there in Waco, man. He got some food going on.
Yeah,
he put out those burgers and all that kind of stuff, man. So he couldn't be out here today, being an hour behind us anyway, out in the Central Time Zone.
Oh, what is out there, Texas or whatever? California?
Yeah, Waco.
Waco,
Texas.
Yeah,
I want to make him trip out there. I've been telling him for a minute, man.
Waco's nice, man. I've been out there.
I heard they're known for their barbecue. David Koresh.
And David Koresh, Them are the two things. No, barbecue, David Koresh. Both of them were burning. Both burned.
Yeah, man. I go so many different places, man. Like, Bias came down here. We went to the Florida State game.
Yeah.
Just a couple of weeks before that, we went up to my son and I went up to the South Carolina Florida Gator game. And now
I wish I'd have known y'all were there because that's South Carolina. I mean, Columbia is like 2 hours, so I could have been like,
my mom's from Columbia. Well, was from Columbia.
Who?
Yep.
Whose mom?
My mother was from
Really?
Columbia.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
ain't that something? Because my father's from that. My father's from Oh man, I forgot where my father's from. Buford.
All right.
Yeah, he was born in Jamaica.
That's where Joe Frazier's from.
Yeah, he was born in Jamaica, but he grew up in Buford.
All right.
Yeah,
that's
so
from.
next time y'all come to South, you come let me know, man. Because
I'm in South Carolina now.
I'm in North Carolina, but South Carolina.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, South Carolina.
Columbia's 2 hours from me. That's
I go so many different places, man. I hate name dropping, but I just because you're in the industry at some point or another, you're kind of almost always in it, especially when you treated people well enough to where they still kick it with you way after the game.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who just moved to Atlanta. He was the vice president of the Carolina Panthers. Vice president, player operations. He was the vice president for the Carolina Panthers. He just left the highest ranking black official in the NFL, executive in the NFL. He left.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the reasoning, but he left. He's now the executive associate AD at the University of Georgia. He just got that job a month ago.
Ooh.
So, nice to know people, man.
Yeah, when me and Bias hung out, like I said, we used to always chop it up on ESPN.
Yeah.
The little boxing group. And I think I was going to see my daughter. And I said, look, I'm coming through your way. And I stayed a couple of days. And the story, I don't know if he told you the story about me in the wings. Did he tell you?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna let him tell you about it. That's the one thing he got hanging over my head. Yeah, it was a situation where, I'll let him tell you about it.
Yeah, we had a pretty good time up there at Florida State, man. I've been in Florida State before. The last time I went there was when Miami played them on Labor Day when Kyle Wright was the starting quarterback. That was so long ago. And they lost that game too, though. So there was nothing new. They were winning at one point. Yeah. But anyways, man, next year I'm going up to Oregon to watch Ohio State because of the Big Ten play. Now Oregon will be in the Big Ten. Oregon? Yeah. But I just get on there and go, man. I just get on and go.
That's how I do. That's how I do. I get up. That's how I do. I get up and go.
That's it, man. I don't need to make plans. I don't need to do this and that. If I want to go, I'll go. And and people, you think you got it like that? Nah.
This.
If I end up there, that means I did have it like that.
You know what? If you ever get a chance, either the team is not, go to Boise. I went to Boise one time.
You know what?
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Wyoming next year as well because of that altitude.
Go to Boise and see that field. That field. I've been there once.
The Smurf turf.
That turf is dope.
Yeah, I heard, man. I heard the birds smash into that thing and they think it's water.
Yes, that turf. It'll happen during the game, dude. It'll happen. It's crazy because I went there. It was that year that they went undefeated and they beat Oklahoma. That's the year I went.
Yeah, that's the Statue of Liberty play.
Yeah, that's the year I went up there because I got a shirt. I got a Kellen Moore shirt. I got his jersey. I got his jersey hanging up in my closet. And I was like, oh, I like this. Yeah, he gave me his jersey, man. He gave me his jersey, and I was like, oh shoot, and I still got it in there. And when I was there, we seen birds smash right in. Yeah. And we're like,
oh, dome in that joint, man. Trying to kill these birds. Peter's gonna be all over the place.
The blue is so the blue is so if you're colorblind, that blue's gonna mess your eyes up. It's not just a regular blue, it's a hell of a blue. That's the best I can tell you. It's a hell of a blue. Yeah, but it's a beautiful field, man.
Bro, we had a minute 35 hour 35 minutes.
Oh, I didn't know how long.
I don't have no time limit on it, man. Since
okay, I didn't know. I was like,
I recognize, like, bro. I mean, I can kick it all down, man. We got so many things. But look, we've both been in sports. We're both old enough to have done things and experienced things.
Exactly.
That we can talk all day about it. I mean, like all these. I wish I was the type though that did save a lot of things or did take pictures. I just never been that type.
Me neither, man.
I just had the benefit to meet a lot of people and do a lot of things over all these decades, man. The memory in my head is good enough a lot of times.
That's what I tell people. They say, why don't I have to? I said, I just wasn't the type of person. Can I get a picture?
Exactly.
I just wasn't that type of guy. It's just because I found, like, I work at a law firm. I do night audit and stuff like that. Yeah. And actors and stuff come through all the time. And like I met Keanu Reeves. One night I was working, he came through. He came down, I was working third shift. He came down and I looked at him, I was like, and looked at the rest of it, what's Keanu Reeves? And he was so cool. And he's the only person I asked for. I said, can I get an autograph? He said, yeah, sure. So he got one of the cards and he signed it and he sat down and talked with me for about a good hour and a half.
See?
And I was talking and I told him, I said, I didn't want to get your autograph because I'm not like that. And he told me, he said, I'd rather talk to people rather than sign my name. And I was like, cool. I said, because that's what I do. Like Ghostface, I met him. I gave him a hug. Like Wu-Tang ain't claiming nothing. He's like, my man. We hugged. We talked in the elevator. Chopped it. I walked him down to the parking deck because I was going home.
Yeah.
And he was saying the same thing. He said, I'd rather a person show me love than ask for my autograph. But he said, that makes me feel better. I said, dude, just meeting you is good enough for me. And that's how I feel. I rather meet. I mean, I wish I'd have kept a lot of stuff too, but the just meeting the person and being able to talk to the person.
Exactly. It's more in depth. It's more memorable.
Yeah.
And it's not even a matter of being able to show the next person what you're doing. That I've done it. I'm way too secure to have to worry about to prove something all the time.
Right.
But there's some things you might want to throw out there. I've only wanted the autograph of 2 people in my entire life, and it's been Muhammad Ali, which I didn't get. And believe it or not, there was a sports personality in New York, Steve Summers, and I got his. He was at Bryant Park, and I went through. He's happened to be doing.
They be all over Bryant Park though.
Yeah, he was at Bryant Park, and I got his autograph. That was it. So
I probably got 3 autographs. It's funny. The autographs I got were from people like Sam Gash.
I
got his autograph. I didn't have to get it, but I dated his cousin, and he just happened to come through one day. And I was talking. I said, "Yo, let me get
she wasn't built like him."
No, nowhere near. Nah. Yeah, no. And he gave me his autograph, but I only got it from him because I was dating his cousin. I just wanted it. I got his, and I got my man used to be on the Old People's Show. Doug Llewellyn.
Doug Llewellyn.
Yeah, I got his.
People's Court.
Yeah, for the Old People's Court.
Yeah, they put him back on there now.
He lives here. He's
back on there now, though.
Is he really?
Yeah, they put him back, man. He was old crap, but he still got the little wisecracks and everything.
I didn't know that. I gotta start. Yeah, because he lives here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, he's like 20 minutes from me. Yeah, he lives here.
Wow.
And I got his. He said, I'm going to have to charge you $10. I was going, he said, no, I'm just joking with you, man. I'm like, oh, but those are the only 3.
Yo, bro, he was a dude back in the day, but he's still trying to be that guy.
I did not know he was back on there, man.
They put him back on, and I put one of those like a while back in the summertime. And I was like, bro, he's here.
Because he's been gone for a while.
Yeah, man. And Rusty passed away, the bailiff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Yep. So,
dang.
Well, you gotta go sometime. That means we're getting older and we're up for bid next.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But
hope it ain't soon though.
Nah, not too soon, man. Just keep living. Maybe if you keep living, you won't have to worry about anything else. Just keep living. You might forget you have to die.
But yeah, when you get a chance, go there or go to Washington State, because I heard they got a red turf. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, I will be going to Washington. Well, not Pullman, Washington. I'm going to Seattle for the fish market.
Okay, yeah. I've been to Pullman. Yeah, that's how I used like Georgia Tech. Yeah. I went there one day. I was just going to Atlanta. I ain't had nothing to do, and there was a game going. I went to the game. I said, "Go to the game." I'm like, "Oh man, it's lit here."
Remember, I used to cover HBCU football myself, so I used to go to a lot of the HBCU games. You know, in fact, when I went to Alabama State, Michael Strahan was at Texas Southern. You know what I mean? That was his last year at Texas Southern. So, but I also remember when they were the only team to tie Alabama State the year that they went undefeated 11-0-1. They ended up being Prairie View's 92-0. Then they blew out North Carolina A&T in the Heritage Bowl back then, which was the HBCU National Championship. Now it's the Celebration Bowl, and I've covered a couple of those. And I tell people now, when it comes to Deion Sanders, look, his son couldn't navigate what was going on with North Carolina Central last year, and before that, South Carolina State. His son, bro, if it wasn't for the Sanders name and being pushed for stats, he wouldn't get the props he's getting, man. I'm just saying. I don't hate the guy. I just know what the hell I'm saying.
It's the fact people, and like, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Deion. I'm a fan of Shador, but it's not hate. It's just true.
It's true. But you know how it is these days. If it's a truthful thing that someone doesn't like,
and people don't it's hate.
It's just hate. You know, they can't decide whether it's just take it being true and moving on. Their emotions get in the way, and then things go down the tooth from there. But yeah, I've seen a lot of these things happen in the HBCUs. I've been on the sidelines for these games. I've been in the press box for these games. I've spoken to these players. I spoke to these coaches after the game, during the week when you do the interviews before the game. That Wednesday, then got to be out there at the game on Saturday. So, bro, it's not something I did in passing. I actually did a YouTube channel about that. HBCU Football Matters. I still have videos. I was at the Black College Football Hall of Fame interviewing Harold Carmichael.
Ooh,
Big Cat number 17. Williams, who played for the Dallas Cowboys out of Central State. Bro, I was talking to them all, man. Doug Williams is up there. Bro, these people I dealt with, man.
That's a good feeling, dude.
Yeah, man.
You know far more and been through far more than I've been through. And a little bit I've seen, I'm like, hell yeah. So I know what you have seen is like, hell yeah.
It's not even a matter of, you get used to just seeing these people. You just have, each person has their own story or their own feeling of being able to cover
exactly.
them.
People don't realize when you meet these people, when you talk to them, they love engaging. They love engaging with you, like, man, you know, because they know you're not coming at them sideways.
Exactly,
you
man.
know. Yeah. Because I met Mantronics, used to make music back in the day. Yeah, I met him at McDonald's. Him and his rapper T, MCT.
All right.
He bought my meal. And the same with DMX. I met him. And I looked at him, I said, yo, what's up? I said, what's up, man? He said, what's up, man? He was talking, and we just chopping it up. He said, that's yours right there? He said, I got it.
Yeah,
I was like, we walking out the door. He said, yo, so what's your favorite dog? I was like, and I'm thinking still about music. I'm like, I don't know, man. I said, it's gotta be Crown. He said, no, man. What's your favorite dog? I'm like, oh, you real dog. He like, yeah. I said, yo, I like Shepherds, man. He said, I. He said, you know what I like, right? I like, you like the pieces. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because, you do this to him. And I was like, and this watching him talk, I was like, he just had me captivated, like, keep talking.
Yo, bro, some people have that personality, man.
Yeah.
When I was 12 years old, you remember Melly Mel, obviously, who just bad track about Eminem a little while back, just embarrassed himself, bringing up some 1980s rap. But his brother, Kid Creole, I used to deliver the newspaper to him when I was 12. I used to deliver the New York Daily News to him. Yeah. He would give me a $2 tip, and back in '84, $2 went a long way, bro.
$2 like $20 a day.
You know what I'm saying? $2 went a long way.
$2 like $20 a day, went a long way.
On that Saturday when I used to come, Friday or Saturday when I came to pick up, bro, it was something. He was dating a girl in my building, so he used to live there. I used to come by, he used to hit me up. He's in prison now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've written him.
He's back. Guy, man.
Yeah, I've written him. He's written back. I got his information. He'll write you back. Yeah, he's
bro. Cool. Yeah. Yo, if you could give me his info, man.
Okay,
I'm gonna bring that up. Yo, bro, I used to deliver your newspaper back when I was 12, man. We was dating this chick.
I'll shoot the bias and give it to you.
Playing games.
I'll give it the bicep, give it to you.
Right,
yeah. He'll write you back, dude.
I feel bad for Cat, man. You know.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I saw the video, how it happened and all that, man.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, man.
He might not hit you right back, but he will hit you back.
He'll ultimately hit you back. He got nothing but time on his hands right now. He's still trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
I wish there was somebody with a whole bunch of bread, just hook him up real quick with some defense to get up out of there.
Yeah.
You know, but
it's crazy. You know, when you're locked up, people, the ones that supposed to be your homies, man, they just,
I got a brother of mine, man. Been in there, he got 45. So I can dig it, man. I haven't seen him since March of '89.
Dang,
so,
man.
Yeah, man.
That's 37 years, man.
That's a long time, bro. It's a long time. I'm going to catch up to him, though. I mean, I've written letters in the past, but not in the recent memory.
But yo, I got to sign on. I got this other podcast.
All right, Brett.
Yo, bro. I'm ready to come back.
All right. Yo, bro, we just having a straight conversation.
You know what? I love the podcast I do. We got a little sports thing going on too.
You guys know it.
You'd have been here. You
better
still
believe
going too, fool.
You're on some fire tip right now. But then he said that
about everything,
you're from the Bronx, man. What you just talk about it? You know what I'm saying?
Man, look here, Bias. We just been going in, dude. We don't talk about everything from sneaking hats, man. But I mean, I got my own little sports podcast, but I know my boys are gonna be a little upset when I say it, but y'all killing it. Y'all killing it. The box, y'all killing it. I love my boys. Don't get me wrong, they my boys, but y'all killing this, man. I hope I hope nothing but the best. I hope y'all blow up.
Thanks,
I hope y'all get large. Cause like I said, me and Bias go back 20-something years. Man, that's and any brother his brother mine. And being you from the Bronx too, so you already in the business. You're already in the house, man.
Come on now.
Exactly. You already in the house now.
You're gonna jump away on the 28.
Exactly. I know. I mean, like I told you last time, I didn't know you wasn't Mexican. I'm like, you ain't Mexican. Nah, let me stop. I don't want people to think I'm racist. I'm not racist, y'all. When I seen Travis, I thought it was Travioso or Travesco or something like that. I ain't know. I'm a clown. Moreno taught me this.
Moreno, man.
Right, exactly. But let me get off of here, man.
All right, bro.
It was fun as usual. I don't mind coming back anytime. Hell yeah, because I love this, man. I ain't gonna front. That's cool. And forget you, Bias. You should have been here.
Yeah, he did say you took the Bronx. Y'all just run with it. You know what I mean?
That's how we do. That's how we do.
All
right, y'all signing out. Sports Bag Brothers in the building. All right, man.
Deuces.